Over the last 18 months, so many of us have found a break from the everyday by going to our area parks, whether it's by yourself on a trail or whether it's safely meeting friends and family. The parks nowadays are being used more than ever, and Great Parks of Hamilton County has some great plans for the future. With us today is the CEO of Great Parks, Todd Palmeter. Todd, thanks for being with us.
Betsy, thanks for having me today.
The parks have really been a place that we can go to. We can be with friends in a safe area, and you can go from the national parks all the way down to your neighborhoods. It seems as if this is where we have been going during this pandemic. Have you seen that jump in usage for Great Parks?
We have. We were over 30%, 34% in overall attendance from 19 to 20. And on the trails, it was 62% plus. So you're talking on the trails alone, over 1 million additional uses of the trail. And it's probably the same people a lot, but still more people went out. It was so busy early in the pandemic, we actually closed roads and turned them into trails because more people wanted to walk than drive. So it was actually a good problem to have because we were so happy to be open and be available during such a negative time in everyone's lives.
And it has to make you feel good that probably a lot of people who had not been using the parks, who had not been exposed to the facilities and the things that you offer guests, you got to reach a whole brand new audience during this time.
We gained a lot of new fans, a lot of new users, not only to your point, just being outside, but then they discovered they may have gone to Winton Woods their whole life and always walked Winton Woods. Winton Woods got a little crowded. Well, they found out, hey, Sharon Woods has got a lot of great trails. Glenwood Gardens, which is a short drive or walk or ride from Winton, has a lot of great trails. And on top of that, we flipped the switch and did a lot of online programming. So a lot of people who may have not had the time to leave their home and come to a program in a park discovered us through social media. We were online 3 times a week live, and the amount of impressions and hits after the fact and people who watched it on our blog was in the thousands. It was amazing that we were able to reach that many people.
That's awesome. That's going to make you feel very good about reaching that new audience. You have an event coming up October the 15th. It is called the Root Ball. So tell us about that.
Yes, the Root Ball is, I would say, our big annual event for Great Parks Forever, our philanthropic partner. But however, we had to take a break because of the pandemic, like most people did. But we're back this year and we're very excited. It is October 15th at Rheingeist. It is sold out. Unfortunately, if you're listening, you want to come, but good thing for us that it's sold out. A lot of sponsors and partners and community leaders and folks are all going to get together at Rheingeist and celebrate the wonderful things the parks has done and talk about a couple of exciting new projects, specifically talking about our Blueways, which is a part of our master plan.
So talk a little bit about your plans for the future, including some of the things that frankly have been talked about in the public, but talk about your long range plan and what you would like to see for the Great Parks.
Absolutely. I've been here for 18 years. I started here in the planning department as a planner. And so I had the privilege of guiding this agency through our master planning process from 2017 to 2019. And that was a fantastic plan. We engaged thousands of residents in the community, and we developed this long-term vision for the parks. Some 5 goals, 8 priorities, but those 8 priorities really summed up who we want to be, who we heard from our constituents, from our users, from our community, who they would like to see us be. And that started as our guiding principle. And then after that, we went right into the planning of each specific park. We call it our park and facility master plans. So after looking at the agency holistically from maybe a 30,000 foot level, we narrowed it down to each park and went back to the public again. So 4 years, we've been talking to the public, whether it's online, in a community forum, even during the pandemic, we went to virtual or we stayed socially distant and masked, and we were still able to get thousands of people who love their parks in this community, who love conservation, who love the things we do, come and tell us what they would like to see for the future. And so we have that plan. We have the park specific plan, we have the comprehensive plan to guide it. And one of the things, I mentioned blueways, and we're going to celebrate a blueway project at the Root Ball. Blueways are water trails or your experience on the river, and Great Parks is the only entity that protects land on all 4 major rivers in Hamilton County. And so we need to own that, and from a conservation perspective, but we also need to get people onto those waterways, not just paddling, walking along, bird watching, fishing, creeking, whatever it might be. And Bass Island on the east side of Hamilton County is one of the prime spots that we are going to grow to allow for more access by the community as part of the Blueway along the Little Miami River, which is a state national scenic river.
More than 17,000 acres, part of the Great Park system. As a planner, how do you look at those acres? Do you look at them as, for example, you mentioned the waterways and 25 miles of river frontage that you have. Do you look at, for example, the waterways as one group, or do you look at the individual parks as this is what we're going to plan for this particular park?
So when we did the park specific plans, we did look at every park, every nature preserve, every conservation area. However, the blueways we looked at holistically. So from the far north end of the river or even the Ohio River, every piece of land that we protect along those corridors was part of the study, but we have to look at the river and the waterway as a whole. So we did to both, to answer your question, because part of it is, what can we do for this community? How can we get the community onto their protected waterways? Because it's the community's assets. It's our privilege to protect it and get people to use them. So what can we do? And then how can we do it? And we ask them, and that's the future plans that we have. We even have plans on how we're going to manage them as an entity going forward. So it's very exciting.
We mentioned about how many more people are out using your facilities. We have seen in the national parks that, you almost love them to death. People have used national parks so much that it can be detrimental to that area. Are you looking at any of that at Great Parks? Because I know that one of the things that you have found in your survey is that people really are thinking about conservation, and they're thinking about nature, and they're thinking about how we can preserve this. But then you've got more people out there too. So how do you kind of balance that to make sure that you stay with your mission and offer this and still accommodate more people who are enjoying your parks?
Yeah, it's a great question. A couple things I would say. The first goal in our comprehensive master plan is be a recognized leader in conservation. And we see ourselves as a leader, but we want to be even more recognized. We want to be, honestly, I'd love to be on that national park level of how we are recognized for the conservation we provide here in Southwest Ohio, not just Hamilton County, but Southwest Ohio and the region. So it's a goal in there. We exist. I mean, the whole reason park districts were formed in the late 1920s here was to protect the green space outside of the city. That's why Mayor Seasongood created the regional park district. So it's at the core of what we do. So that, yes, the balance is our policy tells us with the board that 80% of the land that we own, that we protect, must stay in its natural state. And I'm very happy to say we're actually 83%. And so that is our high level guiding principle. But as we acquire new land, for instance, the 22-acre park that our 22nd park, the Work Road property in Westwood, exciting opportunity for a new park in the city. It's 22 acres, so we won't develop the 22 acres. We'll develop part of it, but what a great amenity for that community to have that nature spot in their community and be able to walk to it. So we use it at the small level of 22 acres. We use those same principles, and we're talking thousands of acres.
Well, if you have not enjoyed Great Parks, please do so. It is a wonderful way to spend an afternoon, a day, although I do wish there was a little less water on the golf courses. That's the only complaint that I have about Todd. You're talking
We'll
about
try
all
and take
the
care of
water
that.
frontage. You could get rid of a little of that on the golf courses, at least for me. So, Todd Palmeter, the CEO of Great Parks, have an exciting event coming up, the Root Ball. Wish you all the best. And of course, down the road, I know that there are always challenges, but it seems as if that we are embracing your parks more and more these days. Todd, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Betsy, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.